In the heart of a town ensconced by towering trees and cloaked in perpetual mist, the Eldritch Library stood as a silent sentinel of knowledge. Its imposing facade cast shadows over the cobblestone streets, and its shelves, laden with volumes of lore, harbored the weight of centuries. Though it was a sanctuary of learning, the whispers that lingered among the townsfolk told of a library steeped not just in wisdom, but in an eerie malevolence. The history of the Eldritch Library traced back through generations, a tapestry woven with threads of enigmatic pacts and spectral secrets. The town's elders spoke of the library's founders, individuals who had forged a covenant with entities from beyond the veil, granting the hallowed halls an unparalleled wealth of knowledge. However, as time unfurled its relentless tapestry, the whispers grew darker, insinuating a malevolent force that had taken residence within the labyrinthine shelves. In the autumn of 1927, a young and curious librarian named Amelia arrived at the Eldritch Library, her passion for literature and insatiable thirst for knowledge guiding her to this town. As she navigated the serpentine stacks that reached toward the heavens, an inexplicable sensation being watched settled upon her, and the ancient tomes seemed to pulse with an unseen energy. On a storm-laden night, the rain cascading like a curtain of sorrow, Amelia stumbled upon a tome unlike any other. Bound in cracked leather, its title, The Codex of Shadows, alluded to forbidden knowledge as she deciphered the arcane incantations within. The very air in the library thickened with an otherworldly presence. The clock's solemn chime marked midnight, and the Eldritch Library underwent a transformative metamorphosis. Shadows became sentient, slithering across the floor like elusive serpents, and the books rearranged themselves as if whispering secrets to one another. The air resonated with a symphony of eldritch voices, weaving tales of ancient entities yearning for the souls of the living. Amelia, ensnared in a supernatural grip, witnessed the true nature of the library, a spectral realm where knowledge coexisted with nightmares. Books became gateways to forbidden dimensions, and shadowy figures lurked between the shelves, their eyes gleaming with malevolence. Desperation fueled Amelia's search for a way to escape this paranormal maelstrom, guided by a reclusive town historian versed in occult lore. The unlikely duo unraveled the dark past of the Eldritch Library. They discovered the names of the spectral entities bound to its ancient tomes, entities hungry for the essence of the living. Armed with this newfound knowledge, they returned to the Eldritch Library, intent on severing the ethereal ties that bound malevolence to the mortal realm. The clock once again striking midnight, so them reciting incantations from an ancient grimoire, a desperate plea to restore the balance between the living and the supernatural. The library convulsed, spectral entities wailing as they were banished back to eldritch dimensions. The storm outside intensified, windows rattling as if the fabric of reality itself protested the intervention. With dawn's arrival, the Eldritch Library returned to its dormant state, the books silent, the shelves still, the town blissfully ignorant of the cosmic battle fought within its midst, continued its daily routine. Amelia, forever changed, locked the forbidden tome in a secret chamber, a silent testament to the trials faced and the warnings unheeded. Yet, even in the library's newfound silence, the echoes of eldritch whispers lingered, an indelible reminder that some knowledge was best left undiscovered. The Eldritch Library, its secrets hidden beneath layers of dust and ageless pages, stood as a testament to the thin veil between the known and the unknowable. In a small town nestled between mist-shrouded mountains, there stood a library with a history as ancient as the shadows that clung to its walls. The townsfolk spoke in hushed whispers of the secrets that lay within the decaying pages of its forgotten books. This was no ordinary library. It was a repository of forbidden knowledge, a place where the line between reality and the supernatural blurred into an unsettling tapestry of nightmares. The librarian, an enigmatic figure named Elara, was said to have made a pact with an otherworldly entity in exchange for the library's unparalleled collection. Elara's eyes were windows to a realm of darkness, and her gaunt figure moved with an eerie grace as she silently glided between the towering bookshelves. One stormy night, as lightning painted jagged patterns across the sky and thunder echoed through the empty streets, a curious scholar named Adrian ventured into the library. He sought answers to questions that had haunted his dreams, and the tales of the library's arcane volumes had drawn him like a moth to flame. The creaking door groaned as Adrian pushed it open, and the oppressive scent of old paper and dust engulfed him. The flickering candlelight cast elongated shadows that seemed to dance to an unheard melody. Elara emerged from the darkness, her voice a haunting melody that echoed through the vast chamber. "Welcome, seeker of knowledge," she intoned, her words resonating with an otherworldly cadence. "But beware, for the truth you seek may be more terrifying than the questions that haunt your dreams." Undeterred, Adrian delved into the labyrinthine aisles of the library, each step echoing through the emptiness like a heartbeat in the silence of the night. The books whispered ancient secrets, their leather-bound spines cracking as if protesting the intrusion of an outsider. As Adrian reached the forbidden section, an ominous chill crept down his spine. The tomes here radiated malevolence, their covers adorned with symbols that seemed to writhe and pulse with a life of their own. He selected a book titled Veil of Shadows and began to read, unaware that he was crossing a threshold from which there might be no return. The words on the pages seemed to come alive, swirling and coalescing into visions that clawed at the edges of his sanity. Unearthly whispers echoed in his mind as the boundary between reality and nightmare crumbled. Shadows materialized into grotesque shapes, and the air grew thick with an oppressive darkness. In a final act of desperation, Adrian screamed, tearing himself away from the eldritch clutches of the book. The library convulsed, its walls groaning as if in agony. The storm outside raged in response to the cosmic disturbance within. As Adrian stumbled out of the library, the door swung shut behind him with a resounding thud. The building seemed to absorb the storm's fury, the tempest dissipating as quickly as it had begun. The library stood silent and enigmatic, its secrets once again hidden behind the veneer of mundane existence. Adrian emerged, forever changed by the harrowing journey into the heart of forbidden knowledge. The town returned to its quiet Fawade, the townsfolk oblivious to the cosmic horrors that lurked within the walls of the ancient library, and so the veil of shadows remained undisturbed, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to venture into its depths as the librarian, Elara, watched with eyes that held the secrets of 1,000 nightmares. In the heart of an ancient town, shrouded in mist and mystery, stood a library that whispered secrets from forgotten times. The air within its walls was heavy with the scent of aging books and the soft rustle of yellowed pages. The townsfolk spoke of the library in hushed tones, tales of spectral librarians and haunted manuscripts circulating through generations. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets, a brave soul named Emily decided to venture into the notorious library, armed with nothing but a flickering lantern and an insatiable curiosity. She pushed open the heavy oak door, its creaking hinges protesting against the intrusion. The library's vast expanse unfolded before her, shelves towering like ancient sentinels, their spines laden with the weight of countless stories. The lamplight danced eerily, casting grotesque shadows that seemed to slither along the book-lined walls. Emily steeled herself, determined to uncover the truth behind the library's ominous reputation. As she wandered deeper into the labyrinth of knowledge, Emily heard faint whispers that seemed to materialize from the very pages of the books. Ghostly murmurs echoed through the corridors, recounting tales of forbidden rituals and long-forgotten pacts. The air grew colder, and Emily's breath formed ghostly clouds in front of her. The library seemed to shift and warp, its architecture defying the laws of physics. Staircases led to nowhere, and doorways opened into absolute darkness. Emily felt the weight of unseen eyes upon her, as if the ancient tomes themselves were watching her every move. In a secluded corner, she stumbled upon an ancient grimoire bound in cracked leather. Its pages were adorned with cryptic symbols that seemed to writhe and pulse with an otherworldly energy. As Emily traced the arcane glyphs with trembling fingers, the very air around her thickened with an oppressive malevolence. A sudden gust of wind extinguished her lantern, plunging the library into complete darkness. Panic seized Emily as she fumbled in the inky blackness, her heart pounding in her ears. Whispers grew louder, now an unholy cacophony that echoed through the void. In the suffocating darkness, Emily felt a cold hand brush against her shoulder, and she recoiled in terror. The spectral librarian, a shadowy figure with hollow eyes, materialized before her. Its voice, a haunting melody of despair, spoke of lost souls bound to the library for eternity. Driven by fear, Emily raced through the shifting corridors, chased by the anguished cries of the forsaken spirits. The once silent books now screamed their tales of sorrow and horror, and the very walls seemed to pulse with a malevolent heartbeat. Finally, Emily burst through the heavy oak door, back into the dimly lit streets of the ancient town. The door slammed shut behind her, sealing the horrors of the library within. The townsfolk found her pale and trembling, haunted by the forbidden knowledge she had glimpsed. From that day forward, the library stood as a foreboding monument, its dark secrets guarded by the spirits trapped within its walls. And though the townsfolk spoke of the library in hushed tones, warning against the temptation of its forbidden knowledge, the allure of the unknown continued to beckon to those brave enough to face the terrors that lurked in the shadows of the written word.